My childhood hasn't been that great. Growing up until the age about 10, I was a spoiled little brat. My mom and dad would give me everything I wanted, and I loved that. But then when I got into 5th grade, starting in 6th grade, my dad started to get sick, and we didn't know what was wrong. He would just come home in aches and in pains. And then one day he started getting jaundice, which is where your skin starts to turn yellow, and his eyes turn yellow, and we just didn't know what was happening. So we rushed him to the ER in Crowley, and they didn't know what was wrong. So they rushed him to Lord's. Well, finally, we found a doctor what was wrong, and we found out that he had cirrhosis of the liver, as well as liver cancer. That's when I had to move in with my great-grandma. Not being able to see my parents, not being able to see my mom, my dad. It was rough. Eventually, my parents came home, and they told me that my dad had a week left. The doctor said, spend time with your dad and love him as much as you can. So I did. That Sunday, I was like, well, I'm not going to stop going to church because my dad's sick and he's home. I'm just going to go to church and I'm going to pray. So I went to church and I prayed and I prayed. And I just, at that point in my life, I was like, Jesus, just take it away. Just take the pain away. I give myself to you. Just let my dad be better. And then the phone rang. And I thought that my dad was dead. But it wasn't that phone call. It was a better phone call. It was a call from my mom saying that they were on their way to New Orleans, that they were on their way to go get a liver transplant, and my dad was going to be all okay. And he is today. My dad's in full remission. He's in full recovery. He's pretty much healthier than me now, and I thank God every day. It's a true blessing. Today I live with both my parents, my mom and my dad. My mom can barely afford my dad's medical bills. His medicine runs about $2,000 a month, and she only makes $1,600. So it's really hard for us to get by every month, including like living expenses. I'm a teenager. I tend to go out with my friends and have fun, but sometimes I have to stay home and not do that because I have to worry about my dad to make sure he gets his medicine. That way I know he's okay. I figured out about Mr. Glenn's scholarship at my freshman academic ceremony. One of his previous recipients, they call him Smiley. He actually won it, and I saw him receive the award. And I was like, that would actually help. What that amazing man is doing for the people, it's amazing. And I thought, maybe I can do that. So throughout the end of my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, I worked hard and diligently. And then at the end of my junior year, actually, I looked online of the scholarship and he was still doing it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to apply for it. Well, I got 2 phone calls. I got 1 phone call for the interview, and me, my mom, and my dad, I ran out of my room and I told my mom and my dad, I was like, Mom, Dad, I got the interview. They were like, what? What interview? I was like, the Glenn Armentor one. She was like, why you didn't tell me you applied for it? And I was like, well, I don't know. And she was so happy. We were all happy. And then later on, I got another call after my interview. Matter of fact, that night. And I answered the phone, and it was Mr. Glenn. And I said, hello. And he was like, hello, my name's Mr. Glenn Armentor. I was like, well, hello. And he's like, do you know why I'm calling you? And I was like, I think I do. And he's like, well, you won the Glenn Armentor scholarship. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, thank y'all so much. And then when everybody else started clapping in the background, I broke out in tears. I was happy. I can finally go to college. I can pursue my dreams, and I can maybe one day pay it forward. Some of the experiences that I've learned over my life is to enjoy life to its fullest. In life, you're only given a finite amount of time. It's not definite. Every day is literally a gift, so take it. My name is Nathan Guidry, and I won the Glenn Armentor Pay It Forward Scholarship of Excellence.